Okay, this is just uh, a video, like, funsies, um, because I just got, like, a like notification on TikTok for this comment I made, and reminded me of this. So, my comment. It's about Unleash the Magic from My Little Pony Equestria Girls Friendship Games. Um, where it's basically, this is the original version of Unleash the Magic, by the way, and people in the comments are acting like we were robbed. But in my opinion, I think that we actually didn't get robbed, and I think that um I think that it is actually a very smart decision to change the, like, because the demo is a demo for a reason, and it basically was a demonstration of everything that the song should not be, in my opinion. So, this song is basically they are peer pressuring Sci-Twi, um, the Twilight from the human dimension, Sci-Twi. They're peer pressuring her into using the magic that she doesn't know the abilities of. She doesn't know what it will do, and in the end of the scene, she becomes a demon, basically, and gets saved because, uh, like, and the reason she becomes a demon is because she's forced into this, and she has stolen the friendship of magic. And since it's taken by force, she becomes corrupted, like Sunset Shimmer did in the first Equestria Girls movie when she used Twilight's crown. And then Sunset Shimmer in this movie, she uses the same device in like a scene after this during the fight. She uses the same device to to get them get the friendship of, like, the friendship of magic from the other six, um not the other six, the other five, because they lent their she because the difference between Sci-Twi and Sunset is Sci-Twi accidentally took the magic by force, and Sunset took the magic because her friends lent her the magic, and so she became an angel and, like, an angelic being, and stopped stopped Sci-Twi, and everything's like save the day, happy ending, have, you know. But this is the song that leads up to that moment. And this song is the peer pressure from the rival school into getting, because the rival school is losing, so they want Sci-Twi to use the magic, right? That's basically the context needed.
I realize that you've always been an outcast. It's not everyone at school who likes to think. To find a student that's like you, I've had one or maybe two, but the good ones disappear before I blink.
Okay, so you hear that, you know? You hear how it sounds very
I
stern.
realize that you've always been an outcast. It's not everyone at school who likes to think. To find a student that's like you, I've had one or maybe two, but the good ones disappear before I blink.
There is too many flourishments in this. Uh, this is, like, harping back to my comments. I don't like the demo teacher voice. It's too rounded. I I like how sharp it is with the VA in the final. She sounds stern, and you can feel the peer pressure with how cold she sounds. The demo is adding too many flourishments. This is what I mean when I say the demo is basically a demonstration of everything that it shouldn't be. Because, holy shit, it's actually so bad. It's not like it's not like her voice is bad. Her voice is objectively good, but it does, but the fact that she's adding so many flourishments, it's basically, the demo's voice is not a voice suited for the is not a voice suited for the tone of what the song is supposed to be. You do not feel peer pressured by let me just roll that back.
At school who likes to think, to find a
Student
student
that's
that's like
like
you.
you. I've
I've
had
had
one
one
or
or
maybe
maybe two,
two,
but
but
the
the
good
good ones
ones
disappear
disappear
before
before
I
I
blink.
blink.
Yeah, there's too many flourishments where here
Who likes to think, to find a student that's like you. I've had one or maybe two, but the good ones disappear before I blink.
you hear the difference. To find a student that's like you, I've had one or maybe two, but the good ones disappear before I blink. To to find a student that's like you, I've had one or maybe two, but the good ones disappear before I blink. It's completely different tonally. Also, sorry if it doesn't come across very well. I am sick, probably. My throat hurts, right? I probably shouldn't be recording this, but it's just on my mind right now. So, like, you can hear the difference. Like, the vocal quality is not conveying what it's meant to convey in the demo. And that's why I think people are just objectively wrong for saying we were robbed, because they forget that demos are there for a reason. They are demonstrations. Like, especially when they're demos where where the voice actor it where the singer is going to be replaced for the actual voice actor later on. it it's just demos like that are meant to test the lyricism, to see if the lyricism is good. The VA, like the demo VA, is usually allowed to do more to test out the limits. Um, but as you can tell, she is not the like people are looking at it from a completely wrong angle when they're saying that, because that's not something that's robbed. It's just something that, well, on a technicality, like on a technical level, the demo VA is doing a lot better. It is not what's needed for this role. The demo VA doesn't. One sec. Anyways, well, on a technical level, it is an objectively better singing voice. It is not the singing voice you want for the character, and like some people seem to forget that just because someone has a better technical level of singing, it doesn't mean that they are the correct person for the job, right? And even if they went with this demo VA, she would have to change the way she sang to give the feeling, because it's supposed to be like a very um oppressive feeling in the song. You can see it with the visuals.
La abuela está en el baño. Now I
Understand
understand
you
you have
have
your
your
reservations.
reservations. It's
It's
not
hard to
if
have
my
a
brain
brain
as
as
large
large
as
as yours.
yours.
But
But
if
if
we
we
don't
don't
win
win
these
these
games,
games,
well,
well,
I
I
think
think
I've
I've
made
made
it
it
plain
plain
what
what
will
will
happen
happen
if
if
we
we
have
have
the
the
losing
losing
scores.
scores. You see it, like, it's very close up. It's very closed in and confrontational. And that is something you don't get with the, like, even with the storyboard. Like, the storyboard is basically the same. It's the final storyboard, right? Um Even with the storyboard of the same scenes, with the demo VA, it doesn't feel claustrophobic like it does in the final. Like, people are, I people are just, they're expecting something else. Like, that is not what a demo VA is for. Demo VA is not to be copied one to one with a final. Like,
Now I understand you have your reservations. It's hard to have a brain as large as yours. But if we don't win these games, well, I think I've made it plain. What will happen if we have the losing score?
like with the, you can hear it. Wait, I just realized I haven't been checking if you can actually properly hear. Uh,
Before I play.
you can hear it right here.
Now
I
I
understand
understand
you
you
have
have your
your
reservations.
reservations.
It's
It's hard
hard to
to
have
have
a
a
brain
brain
as
as
large
large
as
as
yours.
yours.
But
But
if
if
we
we
don't
don't
win
win
these
these
games,
games,
well,
well,
I
I
think
think
I've
I've
made
made
it
it
plain.
plain
What
what
will
will
happen
happen
if
if
we
we
have
have
the
the
losing
losing
score?
scores. It's, I feel like it's most prevalent in that last part. What will happen if we have the losing scores?
But if we don't
Don't
win
win
these
these games.
games, well,
Well,
I
I
think
think
I've
I've
made
made
it
it
plain.
plain.
What
What
will
will
happen
happen
if
if
we
we
have
have
the
the
losing
losing
scores?
scores? Like, although she also goes lower, you can hear the sternness in her voice. What will happen if we have the losing scores? It goes high, like to a midtone, and then down. I don't know if I'm talking absolute nonsense or not about music theory. I am like completely self-taught. I'm like completely self-taught, so I wouldn't know. Also, I have like earbuds in right now when I'm singing, so I sound different when I, like, in my head I sound different when I'm singing with earbuds or headphones than when I'm singing without them. So ignore if it actually sounds like absolute ass, but like you can hear the quality difference in there. If we have the losing scores, I can't do that. I can't do the roundedness. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, on a technicality, it's on a technicality level. Yes, the demo VA is doing, like, technically a better job than the final, but doing more flourishments does not a good song make. You know, because although I'm sure the demo VA is really good and has really good songs probably, it's just not something that is needed here. And people are kind of deluded when they're saying that the demo VA, like, is better, like that the demo is better, because objectively it's not, because it's not functioning, because this is a movie musical. This is a movie musical. What you need for a movie musical is for the songs to work. The songs must serve a purpose narratively. And that's kind of what happens when, like, that's what's happening in the final. The songs are serving a narrative purpose in that they are progressing the plot. And the progression is through peer pressure, forcing Saitwai into doing an action she doesn't want to do. That is that is what makes it a movie musical. And movie musicals need to be very, very specific on how they do the songs, because the lyrics have to match with the tone. Like, if the tone of the music doesn't match with the lyrics, or the tone in which they are sung, like in the demo, is incongruent. Yeah, it's incongruent. It's incongruent with the if the tone of like if the voice that you're using, if it has too many flourishments or it's too hyper, like too bubbly, too kind of like femme fatale, honestly, I think, yeah, like the voice is kind of femme fatale in my opinion in the demo. Why does it sound like she's trying to seduce the child? You know? Like why does it sound seductive? It should not be sounding seductive. Like like why does it like that's the problem with the demo voice. And it's fine for the demo because it's a demo. And demos, like I said earlier, are usually just there to test out the lyrics, and there's only one change in the lyrics is um is for you to not fail this time. It's for you not to fail this time. It's for you to not fail this time in the final. That's the only lyric change. And like that's it. That's it. That's the only change. It's a lyric test basically. And the reason the final works is because it is so, like the final is is in a like anyways, like the final works because it is serving its narrative purpose to progress the plot of a movie musical, you know? And a part of the way it helps service the plot is the way the actors are singing. You cannot have this song work narratively if it sounds like the demo does, like I said earlier, femme fatale, seductive. I don't really mind how they sound. The other students, they sound fine. Like it like the other students, it's like fine. There's nothing crazy going on. Like the I feel like the only real difference between the demo student's voice and the demo um the demo student's voice and the final student's voice is the final they're a bit more like sharp with it. Like we're not friends here after all. Not we're not friends here after all. Because like it doesn't really do that much of a difference, but it's it's not really that much of a difference vocally, but it does a whole lot of a difference like tonally when you're listening to it. We're not friends here after all, and we're not friends here after all. Our only interest in this business is seeing Canterlot High School fall. You know, and
Call it power, call it magic. If we lose, it will be tragic. More important is the knowledge we'll have lost.
you hear that again. Why is it? It's too much. Call it power, call it magic. If we lose, then it'll be tragic. More important is the knowledge we'll have lost. Like, this is. My fucking throat is bothering me so much. I probably it's because I really shouldn't be recording this with my throat so sore, you know. But you know, so who cares about my sore throat, right? Not me. But like, I wonder if Let's see. Do the comments have anything? I like how Twilight's smiling when she says, "But the magic's what I really want to see. The students and Cinch forced her into it, but her personal desires bleed her through." Yeah. Uh, I like how expressive every frame is. Let's see. Okay, 6 years ago. Okay, this version is even better than the original. No, it's not. Let's see. Oh, this person. I like this person now. I don't know why everyone's talking about how this version's so much better. This version is wonderful, but the final version is pretty much perfect. I think the final Cinch voice has a certain authoritative, powerful feel this one doesn't have as much. And Twilight doesn't really sound like Twilight here. I do agree keeping the smile would have been cool though. Not sure whether I wish they kept that or not. This version of the song is super intimidating. It really emphasizes why Twilight folded into unleashing the magic. Damn, this shit is so slow with VC face on. Um, it really emphasizes why Twilight folded into unleashing the magic. This doesn't sound intimidating at all. I think I know why they didn't keep this voice, but I love this version better. I wish they kept it. Anyways, but yeah, Professor, like Principal Cinch, yeah, it's a principal, right? Yeah, Principal Cinch, she doesn't sound authoritative in this. The demo, like there's I think this all comes back to the fact that people they're they are expecting something else when they're thinking like they are expecting something different. But this this would not work in a movie musical, more especially because movie musicals they have the flourishments on the words, like, but the flourishments are very concentrated. They're not everywhere in the voice unless it's necessary to portray something specific. Like, and it's not like the final Cinch BA doesn't have flourishments, but the flourishments are different. They're not seductive. They're strict. More important is knowledge we have lost. A chance like this won't come again. You'll regret not giving in. Isn't understanding magic worth the cost? Like that. I can't do that shit. I can't do that shuffly shit. Or like, okay, I got a Pepsi. Ah, but anyways, people are expecting like a single people are looking at the demo, like they're listening to the demo and they're like, "Oh, this is so good." But they're thinking of it separate from the rest of the movie, because when they're listening to the demo, it's not in context with the rest of the film. Because if they were listening to it in context with the rest of the film, if they were to watch the movie and during Unleash the Magic they were to mute the actual movie and play this instead, they wouldn't say the same thing, because objectively this demo does not get across what the song is trying to get across to the audience. The Cinch VA in the demo, like I said multiple times before, doesn't have an authoritative voice. She has a femme fatale seductive voice. And all the flourishments, they just make her voice more seductive, and it doesn't give the feeling that you are being pressured into doing a decision you will regret. It doesn't come across that way. It just comes across like she's being seductive, and then all the other students, they're just like very soft echoes in the background. Unleash the magic, unleash the magic. If we lose, then you're to blame. Only just in this business. You know, like that. It is so much different from the final. And uh, I can't describe what I mean when I'm saying, like when I say people are expecting something else. Like the only thing I could come up with is they're thinking of a single when they're listening to the demo. They're thinking, oh, this would be so much better, because they're thinking of it like as a as an individual thing. And like I said, individually, yes, it's better. The quality is better. Like the voice quality is better because it's doing a lot more. Anything would be anything would be qualitatively better if you're doing a lot more flourishments. Like if you're doing a lot more high level flourishments, then of course the quality is better on a technical level, but that doesn't mean that it suddenly becomes better. Like ah, my throat is bugging me. Like, let's say you're listening to Life Hates Us Now or Hated by Life itself. Would you want to be listening to that song? It's like where it's like uh and like when you're listening to it is like let's see. How everyone hate it, but everyone hate it while my life itself will never know. I wanna die treated like another joke. Like if you do a lot of like that, I don't really know how to do it on the fly, because I generally don't give a shit about the Octavia translation. The Octavia translation is so shit. Anyways, I don't give a shit about the popular English translation for that, but like I probably should have picked a different song the that I actually know the lyrics of. um, let's see. Because like the thing is, any song would be like on a technicality level better if you do more stuff right. But it just matters if like does the song get across what it's trying to do. Like some songs, they don't need to be doing all this flourishments, like all the like seductive flourishments. Most songs don't need seductive flourishments to get across the message, to get across the feeling that they are trying to invoke. Like the final.
Like this won't come again. You'll regret not giving in. Isn't understanding magic worth the cost?
you know? Like like I said, the students don't really change that much, but like you can still feel a difference because it's a lot like it's slightly sharper the delivery. Like the demo, it's a lot softer. It's like a bit more rounded in the demo, and that's like completely fine. It's not really that big of a qualitative difference. But you really don't get the same feeling with Cinch. That's my biggest problem, is the people who insist that the demo is a lot better. My biggest problem is the people who think that just because Cinch sounds like a seductress, that it's better. No, it's not. 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 Because you don't feel like Saitwai is getting you do not feel like Saitwai is getting pressured by her principal into into using the power that she doesn't actually want to use. Or well, she does want to use it. She is very curious, but they took away the smile at the isn't understanding magic worth the cost. They took it out in the final, so she doesn't want to use it. Like 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 you don't understand. Like your expectations. The expectations are in the wrong place. People are their expectations are placed incorrectly. They're misplaced. Misplaced expectations everywhere. I swear. Like and it's like it's actually so infuriating people who think who think genuinely that it's better because it's not because what makes a musical song good, what makes any musical song good is that it the feeling. Like one of the only musicals I've actually watched. Uh, yeah, I'm a hardcore LARPer. Uh, I've only really watched Ride the Cyclone, and that musical is the plot is the plot doesn't really exist basically. Like sure they sure there is a plot going on, and like the plot of Ride the Cyclone is they die, they sing, and they vote on who gets to become they vote on who gets to get reborn, and then they finally decide, oh, it's the one person who actually deserves a dream dough, blah 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 blah. Who cares, right? But since it doesn't really have a plot and is just a bunch of characters singing about their desires and shit, like after they died, like since the whole musical is taking place in the afterlife, like the hour after they died. Like since that's the whole premise, it's fine because there really isn't any plot that's actively driving anything. They just have to explain to the others why they are so much more worthy of being revived. Why they are the one worthy of being brought back from the dead, basically. Right? And although it does have a plot, technically, it doesn't really matter. And that's why the songs are all over the place. Like like Misha's song. And then and then the cats this the space age bachelor man. I just space age swinging space age bachelor man. Like that and then there's songs like I sing songs until the break of dawn. Noel's Lament, Noel's Lament. There are songs like Noel's Lament and then Ballad of Jane Doe. They're tonally all over the place. And it's basically just because that's a character introspective song. The Ukrainian guy gets two songs, one where it's just auto tune, and then the second about his love for Talia, where we get to see two sides of him, right? There's like those songs, they can be so tonally different because they are because the plot that they service is this is what the character is like, and this is their reason for wanting to be this is their reason for wanting to be revived. And Ocean Song being the first one, since like Ocean Song being the first one before they get told that they have to vote, is the one that gets to show off her character. Um, Add him all up and you'll still get zero. What you really need is a father-mucking hero. Like, oh, oh, he'll never learn to read, and oh, oh, he's never gonna read, and oh, oh, going to jail guaranteed, and she's a freaking monster. Yes, there is a problem. I'm the solution. Darn had a theory called evolutions. It's put in words, but it's plain to see. We need a little less of them, a little more of me. You know, like that type of stuff. Like, and because the plot is so loose and it's a musical solely about learning, solely about learning each character in the shortest amount of time possible. That's why they can get away with it. And still, a lot of the flourishments in Ride the Cyclone are necessary because it's like it shows you what the character is really like in the inside, what their personality is like, and especially Jane Doe. Love Jane Doe. Uh, I want to do Ballad of Jane Doe so bad, but I'm so all over the place because uh, I am so goddamn worked up. Okay, because people need to realize that just because just because musicals have all these flourishments, it doesn't mean that the flourishments can be put literally fucking everywhere. Like there's songs where like let's see. Like let's see another MLP song. Um no, I don't want to listen to this. Uh I'm just gonna karaoke because I don't feel like wait. You didn't know that you fell. Now that you're under us. Blindsided by the beat, clapping your hands, stomping your feet. You didn't know that you fell. Ah, now you're falling under our spell. We've got the music makes you move it, got the song that makes you lose it. We say jump, you say how high, put your hands up to the sky. We've got the music makes you move it, got the song that makes you lose it. We say jump, you say how high, put your hands up to the sky. Oh, 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 you didn't know that you fell. Oh, 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 Now that you're under our spell, listen to the sound of my voice. Ah, soon you'll find you don't have a choice. Ah, captured in the web of my song. Ah, soon you'll be singing along. We've got the music makes you move it, got the song that makes you lose it. We say jump, you say how high. Put your hands up to the sky. We've got the music makes you move it, got the song that makes you lose it. We say jump, you say how high. Put your hands up to the sky. Oh, you didn't know that you fell. Oh, now that you're under our spell. Oh, you didn't know that you fell. Oh, now that you're under our spell. And like this, like you may think of it as pointless, but the whole purpose of the sirens or the dazzlings is that they are sirens. And are they are getting to your head. The song Under Our Spell is telling you exactly what they're doing. They're singing, and with their voice, they are hypnotizing you. And all these extra flourishments are them hypnotizing you. Welcome to the show. We're here to let you know our time is now. Your time is running out. You know? All the flourishments are necessary and also like they service a purpose because the song needs to feel like you are being hypnotized. It needs to feel like you are under a spell. That's the purpose. Like even if it may seem like unnecessary flourishments, they do service plot. And when their necklaces are broken, you get to hear them try to sing, and their singing is horrible. And then when you hear them redeemed, when you hear what they sound after redemption, they have a completely different vocal quality. After their redemption, they no longer sound like sirens. They sound a lot softer. And like I know that a lot of the times we associate like seductive voices with like evil, like in fiction. A lot of the time people who have like seductive voices, they're like evil because, and it's like femme fatale, it's kind of like a femme fatale type trope. um and anyways, but like it's like a really big femme fatale trope, right? And and like I understand that a lot of the times we do have a connotation that seductive voices mean someone might be evil. Like that is a trope that exists. It doesn't mean that a femme fatale voice, like a seductive voice, works in a song like Unleash the Magic. Because you gotta think of the dynamics involved. A lot of the time femme fatale, like seductive voices are used, you know, like a femme fatale. I'm pretty sure I'm using this right. But like to seduce someone into doing an action, like a honey trap. Like that's basically it. But the dynamics in the song are the principal and the student. And when you have the principal character speaking in a seductive voice, it doesn't come off as authoritative. It just doesn't. It does not work. It does not service the plot. Like it active like having a voice like the demo in the final would have detracted so badly from the plot. It would have made it so unbelievably weird. It's like, yes, 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 yes. I agree with you that objectively, objectively, the voice has a better quality in the demo. But it's not what the musical needs. It's not what the musical needs. You know, and it pisses me off that people can't seem to realize that. People are like, oh, I wish this was the final. I wish this was in the movie. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. You don't know what you're fucking talking about. No, you do not want. You would not want the demo voice in the movie. You simply would not want it. In the context of the scene, you would not suddenly want Professor Cinch to start talking like a goddamn seductress to her students. You would not want that. You would not want that. You simply do not know what you're talking about if you think that you want this voice in the movie. No, you don't. 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 These people. Oh, they piss me off. 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 No, you simply do not. You don't realize it, but you don't actually want you don't actually want the demo voice. You don't actually want the demo voice in the final. I know it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe when you're listening to the demo stand alone. When you're listening to the demo like as it like just as is. When you're listening to the demo as it is, without watching the movie, you will think, "Oh, this is so much better. The voice is so much better. I wish this was in the movie." But if you watch the movie and you mute the goddamn if you watch the movie, you mute Unleash the Magic. When you get to Unleash the Magic, you mute it and you play the demo, you'll realize, "No, you don't. You don't. You don't. You don't know what you're talking about." These people, they comfortably talk about, "Oh, I actually no, you don't. 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 You don't know what you want from a movie. You don't know what you want. Like you don't know what you're expecting. You have the wrong expectations. You have the wrong expectations. You have the wrong goddamn expectations. No, you don't. You really don't. You really do not want this. You don't.